Day 15 of the 1 year fast. Today, I'm about 16 hours into a 24-hour fast. Feeling really good, feeling energized, feeling alert, feeling motivated, feeling really well. And this particular week, week 3 of the 1 year fast, the intention is to fast today, Sunday, take a break tomorrow, fast again on Tuesday, take a break on Wednesday, and then another 24-hour fast on Thursday. So a bit of a contrast to last week. Last week I fasted on Sunday and Monday, 48-hour fast, and then took a break, and then fasted on the actual Wednesday for 24 hours. Then the week before that, the very first week of the 1 year fast, I fasted for 3 days in a row, so 72 hours. So this week a bit of a contrast, just to see how I'm feeling, take a look at my ketone readings, and just get that, that different measurement. I'm about 16 hours into this 24-hour fast. I'll probably take my ketone readings in about another couple of hours. Last week, when I took my ketone readings after 48 hours, it registered 25 on the ketone reader. When I took my ketone readings after 24 hours, it registered 0. So, I'm hoping that this 24-hour fast will show me in ketosis, and I'll see some numbers on that ketone reader for this 24-hour fast. We'll see in a few hours. As I'm around about 20 hours into a 24-hour fast, this being the 15th day of the 1 year fast, it's going to be a 24-hour fast today. Thought it'd be a good time to take ketone readings. You may recollect last week, as we got to about 20 hours into the 24-hour fast, took some ketone readings and it registered 0. So let's try again today. About 20 hours in again, give it another go. So very rudimentary, basic ketone reader, breath-based. I'm going to do a countdown. I'm going to start it. Count down from 20 to 0. Get to that 0. Indicator to blow into the reader. Get another beep, indicator to stop blowing. So let's see if we can get some ketones registered today. There's the beep. There was a second beep there. And we got 0. So clearly now, I took the ketone reading last week after the 24-hour fast, got 0 on the breath-based analyzer, same today. As we saw for the 40-hour fast, I got 25 on the ketone reader, and in the 72-hour fast, I got 45. I'm wondering whether I need to upgrade my ketone analyzer. I probably will, so I'm going to pop on Amazon in a moment, order an upgrade, and maybe find an alternative, maybe a urine-based reader as well. So there's some alternatives to just using these rudimentary breath-based ketone readers. So again, I'm about 20 hours into the 24-hour fast in this third week, and we saw 0 ketones. Indication I'm not in ketosis. Interesting. As I said, one of the main purposes of the videos, apart from trying to share information about physical health, is also to act as a monitor, a reference point for my mental, psychological health too. So I thought I'd take some moments to maybe have some reverie, just random conversation. Maybe that could be an indicator of how I was feeling, acting on that particular day from a mental health, emotional health, psychological health perspective. So part of reverie. So I was reminiscing earlier about when I was younger, and so when I was at school, I went to school on the east end of London, Essex border. I actually had a Saturday job between the ages of 14, 15, and then into 16. And my job was I worked as a market boy. So I worked for a chap that had stalls all over London. And my main pitch was on the Roman Road, which is in the east end of London. So that would be my main pitch. I would go there, set up the stall, lay out all the merchandise, and then do selling throughout the course of the day. And it was a fun job. I used to really enjoy it. So the stall that we had, obviously a whole slew of stalls down Roman Road, but the stall we had was selling all items under £1. So it was basically bric-a-brac, to be honest, a bit of took, that we used to sell. And it'd be random. One week to the next, it'd be different.
Get your fresh clobber air.
Raw best shoes aren't above, try Mars.
And so,
Tupperware perfect for
I enjoyed
leftovers,
that,
special
working
today.
down Roman Road. Also worked occasionally on the Woolwich Market, the old, right next to the Woolwich Arsenal. So Arsenal used to be a South London football team back in those days. So worked there for a while. Also on the Hoxton Market, occasionally on the Walthamstow Market in Walthamstow. Apparently the longest market, I believe, in maybe the world at the time. And then on the Queen's Crescent Market as well, which is in Kentish Town. I did that occasionally. But my main time was in the Roman Road. And I was just looking back to those days. I used to get freezing cold in the dead of winter. It used to be freezing. The wind used to gush down that Roman Road. It used to get so cold. And I remember I used to drink tons of tea and coffee from kind of styrofoam cups. Are probably outlawed in this day and age. They're probably carcinogens. But I used to drink a ton of tea and coffee and had a baker's behind us. We were at the far end of the Roman Road, and there was a baker on the corner. I used to go in there, buy some kind of finger donuts with fake cream and jam. Yeah, I used to enjoy that job. And that got me thinking about the Roman Road. So, of course, across the whole of England, not so much in Scotland, but England and Wales, there's a whole, there's miles and miles of Roman roads, because obviously we were kind of taken over by the Romans in the early AD, first, second, third, fourth century. We enslaved, I guess, by the Romans. The Scottish managed to fend off the Romans. That's why the Hadrian Wall was built, to fend off the Picts. But England and Wales, we were really commandeered by the Romans, and I guess enslaved to some point. And so there's a whole network of Roman roads across England and Wales. And I guess the Roman road in the east end of London, where the market is, that was looking back to those days, which got me thinking a bit around how ancestors before we were enslaved resisted. And we had Queen Boudica tried to resist the Roman surge. I believe there's a battle of Watling Street back in the 1st century AD, but Boudica succumbed to the Roman machine. So we stayed under the suppression of the Roman Empire. Just looking back at the job on Roman Road as a market boy, that was pre-internet times, and I suppose in a way Roman Road was the forerunner to eBay. So all the markets were really where you went to buy and barter for items on the street, and it was just a forerunner to eBay, where you can go and buy and barter to your heart's content. So this is the end of coming towards the end of day 15 of the 1 year fast. Again, 3rd week. Intend eating tomorrow, then fasting again on Tuesday, then eating again on Wednesday, fasting again on Thursday. And hopefully my new ketone reader upgrade would have arrived by then, and we can get some indicator of some level of ketosis, because clearly, according to my tried, trusted friend here that I've had for 4 years, I'm not in ketosis after 20 hours, which may be true, but we'll find out.